He smirked across the rehearsal table and said, "Your money's all you have." I kept my seat, turned a page in the contract binder he'd already signed, and marked one box. By morning, every discount reverted, and every bill pointed straight at him. Before watching the video, please tell us in the comments from where you are watching this video. I keep a binder because binders don't forget. My name is Eric, and I estimate jobs for a construction firm where numbers come before opinions. When Mia, my daughter, got engaged, I offered help with deposits and scheduling. Tyler insisted the contract sit under his name for leadership optics. I said leadership means liability, and he nodded like he spoke the language. We built the stack carefully: venue, planner, caterer, florist, band, and a modest block of hotel rooms. My sponsor codes gave vendor pricing meant for corporate clients, not vanity shows. Owen, the venue manager, respected whoever read the fine print out loud. Carly, the planner, liked that I answered with dates, not vibes. I told everyone the same line: clarity is kindness when money moves. The first meetings were normal and almost pleasant. Mia wanted simple, clean, and paid. Tyler wanted elevated, which is a word people use when budgets make them itchy. Denise, his mother, pushed bigger florals, taller centerpieces, and a champagne wall that needed an insurance writer. Carly translated fantasy into invoices without rolling her eyes. Owen circled capacity rules and repeated, "No open flames, no exceptions." I kept my comments short. If it isn't funded, it isn't happening. Tyler smiled and said he'd handle the big boy parts. He liked saying, "I'll sponsor that," then pointing at me for the actual sponsorship. I tolerated it because Mia asked me to keep the peace. Peace is easier when the paper points the same direction. 3 clauses kept the stack honest. First, sponsor pricing reverted if the sponsor withdrew. Second, all balances followed the signatory of record. Third, deposits placed through my company card could convert to credits if the sponsor changed. No refunds to third parties. Nora, my attorney, tuned the language so it read like a stop sign. Walt at the bank set a clean escrow for 2 vendors who demanded it. We built guardrails because weddings drift when people start performing. Mia signed where she was the responsible party: dress, makeup, small things she actually wanted. Tyler signed where he insisted on control: venue, caterer, band, the flashy pieces he thought impressed cousins. I warned him once: calm and clear. Control buys the bill. He grinned and called me old school, which I've learned means right later. Rehearsal afternoon put everyone in one room with opinions warmed up. Carly walked us through timing, then seating, then weather moves. Denise corrected Carly like she owned the clock. "We'll add a slow-motion aisle shot," she said, waving at the error. "Photographer." Owen shook his head and pointed at the permit line. "No, we won't." Tyler laughed and tried to lighten the mood with a dig. He lifted my binder with 2 fingers like it smelled old. "Your money's all you have, Eric," he said, loud enough to play to the back row. "We've got the rest." The groomsmen chuckled because chuckling is easier than thinking. Mia went still the way strong people go still before they break. I closed the binder softly and set my pen on the strap. I didn't argue. I looked at his initials on 6 signature pages and remembered why load-bearing lines exist. After rehearsal, I sat with Mia on the patio where the strings were practicing. She watched the sky and asked, "Are we okay?" I kept my answer short so she could breathe. "We will be," I said. "I'm proud of you." She nodded, swallowed, and said she was sorry for the noise. I told her noise happens when a room forgets who's carrying weight. "You don't have to fix men who want an audience," I added. She laughed once, tired, and squeezed my hand. "Please don't fight him tonight," she said. "I won't," I said. "Tonight is for sleep." That promise was true, but it wasn't the whole story. I was done fighting. I was ready to measure. Back home, I opened the binder on my kitchen table and checked what he owned. His initials sat next to venue, catering minimums, late-night snacks, and the band's second set. My sponsor codes lowered costs across those items by 1/3. The codes were favors, not rights. The contract said they vanished if the sponsor stepped away. "Leadership means liability," I repeated, calm and even, to no one but the walls. I marked a sticky where Nora had written 2 sentences with teeth. Tomorrow I would use them once, slowly, without heat. Tyler wanted the look of control. He could have the bill that matched it. Mia would still have a wedding. It just might look like hers again. Smaller, cleaner, and paid by the man who bragged about leading. Morning came with a gray sky and the kind of quiet that tests nerves. I drove to the venue early and parked by the loading dock. Owen stood at the gate with a clipboard and a rain app open. "We're good," he said. "Light wind, no storms." I nodded and kept moving. Inside, the ballroom smelled like fresh polish and flowers that stayed within budget. Carly lined up the bridal party like puzzle pieces and spoke evenly. Denise hovered, editing air. Tyler arrived last, sunglasses on, grin centered for an audience. I watched him greet vendors like a host who never read invoices. He found me by the side doors and tapped the binder with one finger. "Still clutching that?" he asked, smiling like a coach. "It keeps the story straight," I said. "Stories are for guests," he replied. "We make moments." I didn't take the bait. "Moments cost," I said. He laughed and leaned close. "Relax," he whispered. "Your money already did its job." I let the sentence hang long enough to feel heavy. "You sure?" I asked. "Completely sure," he said. Confidence turned to volume. Denise clapped her hands and called for a group photo with leadership in front. I stepped back and let him stand there. Mia slipped beside me while the cousins assembled. "He's nervous," she said, eyes on the camera. "Nerves are fine," I said. "Contempt isn't." She winced. "He didn't mean it." "He meant it enough to say it out loud," I replied. She looked down and tugged a loose thread on her sleeve. "Please don't start a war," she whispered. "I won't," I said. "Wars waste days. Contracts don't." She glanced at the binder like it was a weapon. "I just want vows," she said. "Then we'll protect vows," I answered, with quiet, not fire. Rehearsal run-through started again because timelines rescue feelings. Carly called cues, and people moved where tape told them to stand. Denise whispered about taller centerpieces and a champagne wall no one had insured. Owen shook his head and pointed at the permit line again. Tyler played for laughs each time someone said no. "We're elevating," he said. "Budget's just a suggestion." The florist looked at me for clarity. I shook my head once. "Base plan," I said quietly. She nodded, grateful to have a rule to follow. Tyler saw the exchange and smirked. "Old school," he said. "Afraid of a little shine?" "Not afraid," I said. "Just not paying for it." His grin flickered, then returned for the crowd. We broke for water under the awning. Denise seized the opening. "Eric, we'll need you to approve a lighting upgrade," she said. "Uplights make the room sing. Send the paperwork," I said. "I'll read it Monday." She blinked. "The wedding is tomorrow." "Then the answer is no," I said. Tyler shook his head at her. "Don't bother," he said. "We have plenty." He turned to me with that same smirk. "Your money's all you have," he repeated, lighter but sharper. "We've got taste." I kept my mouth closed and opened the binder instead. His initials stared back from every page that mattered. I touched the small tab Nora labeled in plain ink. 2 sentences waited like a locked door. Carly stepped between us with timing that saved hours. "Back to places," she called. "We're running the aisle one more time." Mia breathed out and lifted her bouquet for practice. The music started, soft and focused, and the room quieted. Tyler watched her and lost a layer of swagger for a second. That second told me what could still be saved. I put the binder under my arm and walked to the edge of the lawn. Owen joined me, eyes on the wind. "You look like a man counting load," he said. "I am," I said. "Paper holding?" he asked. "Paper always holds," I said. He nodded once. "Then we're fine." He led the group through the exit, plan, and the rain door. Denise tried one last push about the champagne wall. "It's iconic," she said. Owen replied with the only sentence that mattered. "It isn't insured." Tyler rolled his eyes for the groomsmen and got a chuckle. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. When rehearsal ended, Mia hugged me quick. "Thank you for staying calm," she said. "Calm is cheaper," I answered. She studied me a moment. "You're going to do something," she said softly. "Something quiet," I said. "Something legal." She nodded once, understanding the shape, if not the details. "Just keep vows safe," she said. "That's the plan," I replied. I left before dinner on purpose. Leaving reduces chances for bad lines and worse decisions. At home, I placed the binder on the table and flipped to the page Nora had flagged. Sponsor pricing reverts upon withdrawal. Balances follow the signatory of record. I read the 2 sentences again until they felt like muscle. Tyler wanted leadership on paper. He owned it now. Tomorrow, vendors would see rack rates and Code D for extras. Mia would still get married. She'd also get truth. I turned off the light and let the house go quiet. Revenge wasn't the point. Alignment was. Nora met me before the courthouse opened. Coffee in one hand, pen in the other. Her office smelled like paper and quiet. "We'll make this simple," she said, sliding the binder between us. "Tell me what he said." I repeated the line, calm as a ledger. "Your money's all you have." She didn't flinch. "Then remove your money," she said. "Leave him what he signed." She turned to the venue agreement first and tapped the sponsor clause. "These discounts exist because of you," she said. "Withdraw sponsorship and everything reverts to rack rate." I nodded. "Balances follow the signatory?" Every time, she said. You built the frame. Now let gravity work. I breathed once and kept my questions short. Any risk to Mia? Only if you punish everyone, she said. We're not doing that. She flipped to catering. Minimums are his, she said, underlining Tyler's initials. Add-ons are his. Gratuity is automatic. If he wants towers and drama, he pays at delivery. I asked about timing because timing decides whether corrections feel like storms or weather. Morning notices, quiet conversions by noon, Nora said. Call the banker and the planner. Keep records short and boring. I asked for the 2 sentences again, and she recited them like a scale. Upon withdrawal of sponsor pricing, vendor bills revert to rack rate. All balances and obligations remain with the signatory of record. She capped the pen. Repeat those exactly. No spin. I imagined repeating them to Tyler's face and decided paper would say them better. What about deposits already paid? I asked. Convert them to credits per the corporate plan, she said. Credits travel with you, not his party. I let that sit until it clicked. He'd keep the show. I'd keep my tools. We called Walt at the bank next. He answers like a man who weighs commas. Escrow on florist and band? Nora asked. Active, he said. Sponsor listed as Dalton Company. Change, she asked. Allowed with written notice, he answered. Funds roll back to corporate credit if sponsor withdraws before delivery. I kept it practical. Any hiccups? Just timing, he said. Vendors get an automated note, and balances reissue to the signatory. That would be Tyler, Nora added. Correct, Walt said. Invoices will show rack rate and KOD for any add-ons. He paused, then added the only advice bankers give when they care. Keep your sentence short. We will, Nora said. We hung up and she turned to me. Call Carly, she said. She's the hinge. I dialed and kept my tone clean. Proceed per contract, I told the planner. Sponsorship codes withdraw at noon. Any extras require payment from Tyler upon delivery. Carly exhaled like someone who had been holding her breath all week. Copy, she said. I'll steer vendors to paper. Legal talk eats time if you let it. Nora kept it to 2 short paragraphs for my head. First paragraph, mechanics. I would email formal withdrawal notices to Owen, the caterer, the florist, and the band. Each would receive a vendor-specific line. Sponsor pricing withdrawn. Rack rates apply. Balances remain with the signatory. Second paragraph, boundaries. Mia's comfort stays intact. Timeline, base services, ceremony support. No scenes, no threats, no public lecture. If anyone argues, Nora said, you repeat the sentence. If they insult you, you repeat it slower. And if Tyler begs, I asked. You offer him 2 options only, she said. Replace the sponsorship by paying you back today, or proceed at rack rate under his signature. What if Denise calls? She will, Nora said. She doesn't hold paper, she holds volume. Lower the volume by not adding yours. I half smiled. You've seen a few mothers. I've seen 1,000 budgets, she said. Mothers follow budgets when budgets hold. We role-played the call to Owen, because venue managers respect precision. Owen, this is Eric, I practiced. Per sponsor clause, I'm withdrawing pricing and corporate guarantee as of noon. Base contract remains unchanged. Signatory remains Tyler. Copy? Nora nodded. He'll say copy, she said. He lives for rules. We practiced a version for the caterer. Rack rate resumes at noon. Minimums and overages billed to Tyler Raines, then the band. Second set fee returns to original number, payable by signatory at sound check. Each line felt like a tool I could use without raising my voice. What about Mia's name on the hotel block? I asked. Leave it alone, Nora said. Don't punish guests for his mouth. That sentence landed right. We're building, not burning, she added. Structures last, fires don't. I closed the binder and felt the days sharpen into steps I knew how to take. You're calm, Nora said. Stay that way, I nodded. Calm is cheaper and stronger. Calm also shines brighter when the bill lands. On my way out, Carly called back with a planner's translation. Vendors will ask if this is revenge, she said. I'll tell them it's paperwork. Tell them it's schedule protection, I said. That too, she replied. Do you want me to warn Tyler? No, I said. Paper will warn Tyler. She paused, then asked the human thing. Is Mia okay in all this? Yes, I said. She wants vows that sound like vows. Then I'll put chairs where words carry, she said. And I'll keep Denise busy with tasks that don't cost a dime. I thanked her and ended the call before we drifted into feelings we didn't need. Nora held the door and gave me one last reminder. Eric, she said, this isn't a show. It's a ledger becoming a teacher. Understood, I said. By noon, the teacher rings the bell. She smiled once, then let class begin. I sat in my truck and read the 2 sentences again, letting the rhythm lodge in my mouth. Upon withdrawal of sponsor pricing, vendor bills revert to rack rate. All balances and obligations remain with the signatory of record. I didn't need anything else to carry me through the day. Not anger, not speeches, not applause, just rules, cleanly applied, landing where arrogance had signed. Tyler thought my money was all I had. He was about to learn that contracts spend louder than cash when you let them work. Mia would get a ceremony that sounded like itself. He would get math, and math doesn't clap. I drove to the venue lot just before 9 and kept my engine running long enough to steady my breath. Owen stood by the service door with his clipboard and that precise look of a man who sleeps near rule books. "Morning," he said. "Storm's cleared." "Good," I answered. "One change." He raised an eyebrow and waited for nouns, not feelings. "Per sponsor clause, I'm withdrawing my pricing and guarantee at noon," I said. "Base contract stands. Signatory remains Tyler." He read my face like a permit and nodded once. "Copy," he said. "Rack rates at 12. I'll alert billing." "And setup continues," I added. "No chaos." "We like no chaos," he said. "It photographs better than towers." Carly joined us with her tablet and a styrofoam cup. "We aligned?" she asked. "We are," I said. Two options for Tyler: repay the sponsor credits to reinstate pricing today, or proceed at rack rate under his signature. She grimaced like a medic setting a simple fracture. "Clean," she said. "Vendors can live with clean." Denise rounded the corner with a cousin in tow, already mid-sentence about elevating the entrance. Carly pivoted before she reached us. "We're locked on base," she said brightly. "No add-ons without signatory payment." Denise blinked, then recovered with sugar that didn't stick. "We'll settle it after," she said. Owen shook his head. "After is not a payment method." She frowned and walked off to edit chairs that didn't need editing. Carly waited a beat, then asked the question planners ask when the temperature drops. "Mia safe?" "She gets vows and timeline," I said. "Nothing else changes." At 10, I found Tyler near the bar, measuring air with his hands. "Quick word," I said. He smiled like a man who believes charm can sign forms. "Make it fast," he said. "We're elevating." I kept my voice even and short. "My sponsor pricing withdraws at noon," I said. "Two options. You repay the sponsor credits today and keep discounted rates, or you proceed at rack rate under your signature. Either way, ceremony runs on time." He stared for 2 seconds, then laughed like I'd told a harmless joke. "You wouldn't," he said. "I did," I said. "Paper doesn't blush." Denise materialized beside him. "This is spite," she said. "This is a clause," I answered. Tyler's grin thinned. "You trying to flex?" "I'm teaching you gravity," I said. "Leadership owns weight." He smirked and waved me off. "We have money," he said. "Then noon will be easy," I said, and left him with the clock. The caterer rolled in a moment later, sleeves up, eyes on logistics. "Morning, Mr. Dalton," he said. "Any changes?" "One," I said. "Sponsor pricing ends at noon. Minimums and overedges will bill to the signatory. Tyler reigns." He adjusted his clipboard and shrugged like a pro. "Rack rate it is," he said. "Second carving station still optional?" "Optional only if paid at delivery," I said. "Seod, not promises." "Copy," he said. The florist arrived next with buckets that smelled like early spring. "We're base greens," she said before I spoke. "No wall, no arch upgrade, no drama." "You just wrote my sermon," I said. She smiled and kept moving. The band leader parked near the dock and jogged over with set lists. "Second set fee was discounted," he said, tapping his page. "Not anymore," I said. "Bill the signatory at sound check." "Understood," he said. "We play either way." By 11, rumors started nibbling at corners. A groomsman asked if the champagne wall was held in customs. A cousin swore he knew a guy with uplights in his garage. Carly intercepted each fix with kind sentences that ended in timelines. "We start on time," she told one group. "On time looks expensive," she told another. Owen stood by the dock like a lighthouse, sending stray ideas back out to sea. Mia found me in the side hall and leaned close. "Is this going to blow up?" she asked. "No," I said. "It's going to land." "On him?" "On the person who signed," I said. She nodded, jaw tight, but eyes steady. "I just want vows," she said. "You'll have them," I said. "No lights required." 5 minutes before noon, Tyler and Denise approached like people bracing a door with their shoulders. "We'll wire after first look," she announced. Owen checked his watch. "After is not noon," he said. Tyler tried charm again, smaller now. "Come on, Eric," he said. "Don't make this the story." "I'm not," I said. "I'm letting the story match the paper." He leaned in, voice low. "You're petty." "I'm precise," I said. The clock rolled to 12. Owen's phone chimed. "Rack rates in effect?" he said to the air, already updating a sheet. The caterer walked by with a tray and gave Tyler a professional nod that translated to, "We're ready when you are," with a card. Denise exhaled hard through her nose. "Fine," she said. We'll deal. That's what today is, I said. Dealing. The notices did their quiet work. The base plan stayed solid. The extras met invoices instead of wishes. No one outside our little circle felt the shift. That's how structure should work. Carly clapped her hands once and brought the wedding party to places. We're on time, she said, smiling for real. Mia lifted her bouquet and took a breath that sounded like relief. Tyler adjusted his cuff and stared at the lawn like it had betrayed him. I stepped back to the edge of the crowd where rule men stand. Noon had rung. Gravity owned the room now. Vows could finally carry without fighting a wall of borrowed shine. Carly earned her fee in the next hour by keeping 3 fires from sharing oxygen. She stationed herself at the ballroom doors with a tablet and a smile that didn't invite negotiation. The DJ asked about uplights again. She answered with time. First look in 15, doors at 3, vows at 3:30, she said. No uplight install fits that math. Denise slid in behind him and tried charm. It's our day, she said. We need glow. Carly didn't shift tone. Glow is sunlight, logistics or electricity, she said. We have sunlight. The florist edged close with a hopeful bucket. I can fatten the arch, she offered. It'll look rich. Carly shook her head once. Rich is finishing on time. Tyler appeared, reading the room for applause that wasn't there. We're elevating, he said weakly. Carly pointed to the aisle tape. You're walking, she said. Elevating comes from vows. Owen handled the loading dock like a border crossing. A cousin with a pickup tried to unload a mystery tote labeled Party. He held up his hand and asked one clean question. Paid? The cousin grinned and said, It's a favor. Owen stepped aside without raising his voice. Favors leave with the truck, he said. Denise stormed over and waved a phone. I have a confirmation text, she insisted. Texts don't sign insurance, he replied. Tyler pulled me aside as if we were partners. You're enjoying this, he said. No, I said. I'm preventing the kind of enjoyment that ends with a bill and a lawsuit. He scoffed and looked toward the lawn like it might give him backup. It didn't. Mia walked past, calm and centered, and he straightened his shoulders by instinct. I watched him read the room and realized charm had been replaced by clocks. Carly pivoted to the bridal party like a coach. Phones away for processional, she said. Hands free, eyes forward, slow count to 6. Denise tried a last-minute seating change to bury me 2 rows deeper. Carly smiled without moving the card. Chart's locked, she said. Back row stands for stability, not punishment. Denise switched targets. We want the champagne wall near the entrance, she told the caterer, voice syrupy. He pointed to his invoice. Not on here, he said. We're passing trays. She tried to hand him a card. Owen intervened kindly, but hard. Code at delivery for anything new, he said. And we don't deliver what isn't insured. Tyler muttered. This looks cheap, mostly to himself. I leaned closer and kept it even. It looks paid, I said. He didn't answer because the band started sound check and ate the air. 10 minutes before first look, Carly pulled Mia and Tyler into the shade for a micro-brief. You will forget to breathe, she said. Softer now. When that happens, stop for 2 beats and start again. Mia nodded. Steady. Tyler tried a joke. Pretty sure I've got oxygen down, he said. Mia didn't laugh. Please focus, she said. Carly handed me a roll without making it a ceremony. Eric, water runner, she said. Back patio, 1 tray every 15. I took it because work calms people like me faster than speeches. Denise intercepted me halfway and hissed, You could fix all this with 1 signature. I kept walking. Correct, I said. I fixed it with 6 months of signatures. Today we follow them. She muttered something about petty men, which slid off me like rain off sealed wood. The first look ran right on time because rules are romantic when you give them air. The photographer counted. Mia tapped Tyler's shoulder, and for 10 seconds, he looked like a man who understood luck. Then the bandleader asked about the second set fee, and luck met math. Rack rate, he told Tyler, holding a small clipboard. Due at sound check. Tyler looked at Denise. She looked at her purse like a stage prop. We thought that was covered, she said. It was discounted under sponsor pricing, he replied. Sponsor pricing ended. Carly stepped between their frustration and my oxygen. We'll handle during family photos, she said, moving bodies into formation like chess. The bandleader nodded and walked off, professional and on schedule. Mia watched the exchange, then looked at me. I kept my face calm and my hands steady on the tray. She exhaled, and that breath told me the lesson hadn't hit her yet, but it would land where it needed to. Guests began arriving early, the way families do when they don't trust weather or one another. Carly became air traffic control. Gift table left, guest book center, grandparents' first 2 rows, she directed, never raising her voice. Owen checked sprinklers 1 more time and locked the network cabinet because uncles fix Wi-Fi had become a problem at other weddings. Denise tried a new flank, cornering the DJ about a mashup entrance. He shook his head, gesturing at his contract. "I'm a two-person crew," he said. "We keep it simple." She spun toward me like a prosecutor. "They're all hiding behind your contracts." "They're standing on them," I said. "They hold." Tyler approached with the band invoice folded in fourths. "You win," he muttered. "This is petty." "Petty is loud and useless," I said. "This is quiet and useful." He crumpled the paper, then smoothed it and paid, because the clock moved without caring about his mood. When lineup started, Carly checked wrists for boutonnieres and eyes for panic. "You two, slow steps," she told a pair of nervous cousins. "You, handkerchief," she told the best man, who was already tearing up. She turned to Mia and dropped the planner tone for a second. "Your words will fill this space," she said. "Nothing else needed." Mia nodded, shoulders softening for the first time today. Denise hovered near the arbor, still looking for a headline. Carly gave her one tiny job on purpose. "Can you place these programs on the first two chairs?" she asked. "Straight edges, please." Denise brightened and did it with care. Sometimes the best fix is giving a restless person a small square that can be perfect. The aisle music started. Owen gave a slight nod to me from the door. The base package had held, the timeline had held, and the fires had burned out for lack of air. I stepped into the small office off the loading dock where the venue kept a fax machine for older vendors and a printer that always worked. Owen closed the door and stood by the file cabinet like a witness. "You ready?" he asked. "Ready," I said. I called Walt first because banks go first in my world. "We're proceeding with withdrawal," I told him. "Per clause, convert my deposits to credits." He didn't waste words. "Acknowledged," he said. "Florist and band escrows revert to your corporate account. Vendors get notices. Balances move to the signatory." "Thank you," I said. "Timing?" "Effective now," he said. "Receipts in your portal." Owen nodded at the word now, because rule men collect those. Next call went to Nora for the legal cadence. "Keep sentences short," she said. "No adjectives, no victory laps." "Copy," I said. I opened the prepared notice and read it aloud once. "Sponsor pricing is withdrawn effective noon. Balances and obligations remain with the signatory of record." Nora listened for wobble and heard none. "Send it," she said. I handed the venue copy to Owen. He initialed the receipt line and slid it into a sleeve. "Billing will mirror this by 3, he said. "Rack rates posted, discounts removed, credits logged." "Good," I said. "And no scenes." "Not on my floor," he replied. We shook once because men who like rules don't need hugging ceremonies. Carly came in with her tablet and a planner's antenna up. "Pins pulled?" she asked. "Pins pulled," I said. "Vendors get clean emails, no drama." She nodded and translated for her world. "Florist stays base. Band bills second set at soundcheck. Caterer keeps carving station optional. Cody." I added one guardrail. "If anyone tries to route payment through me, decline." She smiled without softness. "I like declining with policy," she said. "It keeps friendships alive." We stepped back into the hallway where the air carried music checks and clean kitchen smells. Tyler stood across the room reading a bill like it was written in code. Denise hovered behind him, whispering solutions that didn't exist. Carly angled us away because eyes add fuel. Mechanics stayed simple and light on paper. My company deposits shifted to credits I could use later, which meant no one could claim I'd punished them by ripping cash. Vendors received automated notes with Tyler's full name in the Bill To line. The florist's screen pinged first. She gave me a thumb up like a pro. The bandleader checked his phone, nodded once, and tucked it back. The caterer walked through with a tray and a calm face. "Second station available if paid," he said to Tyler, not me. Tyler's jaw worked like a stuck hinge, but he kept his voice down. "We'll see," he said. Cody doesn't argue. It waits with a small square reader and a larger silence. Denise tried an end run at the hotel desk, where the block sat under Mia's name. I watched from the lobby while a clerk with perfect posture held the line. "Upgrades require payment," he said. "Room type remains per contract." She tried a smile sharper than glass. "We're family," she said. "We're policy," he answered, smiling back. She turned and saw me, then chose not to speak. That choice told me the lesson was landing. Mia texted from the bridal suite, a simple check-in. "You okay?" she wrote. "I'm steady," I replied. "You'll walk on time." "Then I'm okay," she answered. I put the phone away because phones make people forget the room. Near the service hall, the bandleader met Tyler at soundcheck with his updated number. "Second set at rack rate," he said. "Due before downbeat." Tyler looked for a pocket hero and found none. "We'll cut it short," he muttered. The bandleader shrugged. "Your call?" he said. Music doesn't care if it plays 40 or 60 when it's paid fairly. Owen walked past and handed me a thin envelope. Venue acknowledgement, he said. Billing moved to signatory. I checked for the line that mattered. It sat there like a stud behind drywall. Rain's responsible for all variable costs. No gilding, no exclamation marks, just gravity doing what gravity does. Denise approached with a new tactic. Soft voice, smaller eyes. Eric, she said, this looks bad on all of us. It looks accurate, I said. Accuracy is kinder than pretend. You could reinstate discounts, she pressed, if he apologizes. The clause isn't about apologies, I said. It's about who signed. She tried again. You're punishing my son at his wedding. I'm holding him to his signature at his wedding, I said. Those are different verbs. She studied me like she hoped to find heat and didn't. That unsettled her more than any speech could have. She walked away before she said something brittle. Good. Brittle breaks days. The florist passed with a small extra bundle and hesitated. I can tuck these in Mia's bouquet, she whispered. No charge. I weighed kindness against rules and chose both carefully. Add 2, I said. She'll notice 2, not 10. The florist smiled because boundaries can still be human. Carly watched the exchange and nodded. You're not here to starve joy, she said. Just to feed structure. Exactly, I said. Tyler came by just then, eyes on the envelope in my hand. Happy? He asked. It's your day, I said. Be whatever you want. He squinted at the word your and finally heard it the way I meant it. Leadership had landed. Liability had too. By mid-afternoon, everything heavy sat where it belonged. Credits parked in my account waited for a future weekend with my kid that wouldn't need a crowd. Vendors had clean paths for payment and no confusion about who owned what. The base plan looked good because base plans age well. Carly clapped once and lined up the party. We're a go, she called. Owen checked the clock and opened the garden doors. I took a seat in the back where exits stay near and mistakes stay far. Pulling pins hadn't made noise. It just removed false weight. That's why the room felt lighter when the music started. Check-in lines always reveal who read the email. I stood near the hotel desk, watching guests sort themselves into patience and performance. The block sat under Mia's name, so her friends floated through easily. Tyler approached the clerk with Denise beside him, and that host posture he liked to practice. We're in the bridal suite, he said, tapping the counter. The clerk checked the screen and shook his head gently. Suite is under the bride's name, he said. Additional upgrades require payment. Denise leaned in, smile loaded. We have status, she said. Status doesn't replace payment, the clerk answered. Tyler glanced at me like I'd rigged the cloud. I didn't move. He handed over a card and signed without the grin. At the venue, the first math problem arrived with silver trays. The caterer rolled a second carving station into view and stopped short of the doors. This is the optional add-on, he said. Cod at delivery. Tyler looked offended by the word optional. I thought that was covered. It was discounted previously, the caterer said. Discount ended at noon. Denise reached for her purse like she could fix momentum. We'll settle after. Delivery requires payment, he repeated. He didn't look at me, which I respected. Tyler stared at the tray, then at guests nearby. Fine, he said, handing over his card. The caterer swiped, printed, and thanked him like a professional. The station rolled in. People ate without caring how invoices breathe. The band leader intercepted him next, clipboard small and voice even. Second set fee is due at sound check, he said. Rack rate. Tyler tried humor and found it empty. What if we, vibe it out? We'll play the contracted time, the band leader answered. Extended time requires payment now, Denise whispered. It's tacky to ask during sound check. He kept the tone polite. It's less tacky than me packing up during the first dance. Tyler glanced at Mia across the lawn, found her laughing with bridesmaids, and deflated a little. Run the card, he said. They did. The receipt printed neat and narrow, and music stayed on schedule. Math isn't romantic, but it does keep people dancing. Owen drifted by like a lighthouse doing his job. Fire code checks clean, he said, eyes on doorways. Bar staffing at agreed level. Denise tried to add a champagne wall again, softer now. It's tradition, she murmured. Owen shook his head once. Not at this venue without an insured vendor. She tried to pivot to me. Eric could authorize. I kept my hands in my pockets. I withdrew sponsorship at noon, I said. Today belongs to the signatory. She took that in, then stepped back before the words could bruise. Mia approached with calm that wasn't borrowed. Everything okay? She asked. Everything's on time, I said. That's better than okay. She smiled because she understood that language. The florist found me with a tiny question that felt like a kindness test. 2 extra stems in her bouquet, she said. You said yes earlier. Still yes. Still yes, I said. 2 reads as love. 10 reads as panic. She laughed softly. You're good at this, Only when paper's clear, I answered. Tyler walked past and paused, seeing the exchange. You're approving flowers? He said. 2 stems, I said. No invoice attached. He shook his head, half annoyed, half relieved. Everything has an invoice. That's adulthood, I said. It ends most arguments. He didn't answer, but he didn't walk away angry either. Small progress counts. Cocktail hour exposed 1 more lever. Denise tried to press the bartender for premium pours, not on the list. Top shelf for the head table, she said. We'll square later. The bartender kept the smile and the rule. Menu is what we pour, he said. Upgrades require a manager and a card. She pointed at Tyler. We're paying. He exhaled, felt the eyes, and nodded. 2 bottles, he said. The manager ran the charge and posted the slip near the register like venues do when they're tired of debates. Guests drank, laughed, and didn't tally brands. The only people who noticed the label were the ones holding the slips. That's the math nobody posts. Mia tugged my sleeve near the patio rail. You pulled some lever, she said. Everyone's paying attention to paper. I kept it simple. I stopped sponsoring their wishes, I said. Structure took over. Did you punish him? She asked. No, I said. I matched responsibility to signatures. She looked toward Tyler, who was nodding along to an aunt's story and hiding a receipt in his pocket. It might be the first time he's carried weight and known it, she said. Weight builds muscle, I replied, if you let it. She nodded once. I'll let it, she said. That sentence carried more hope than favors ever do. As the sun slid, Carly checked her tablet and grinned for real. We're 5 minutes ahead, she said. No one knows it but me, which is my love language. Owen signed off a last inspection and adjusted nothing. The band kicked into the first dance and didn't worry about the second because the receipt sat in their case. The caterer played it on time because the second station had a signature and a payment, not a promise. The room felt lighter because nothing was sneaking in without a name. If Tyler wanted to be the leader on paper, he finally was. Leadership had a bill. He paid it. I took my back row seat as planned and watched the math finish the job emotions couldn't. Guests enjoyed the simplicity they didn't know was deliberate. Mia smiled without strain. Tyler looked tired, which is what accountability looks like the first time it tries on new shoes. Denise kept her plans in her purse and discovered she could still enjoy a cake that wasn't stacked like a skyscraper. The night didn't sparkle. It held. That's the part people remember when photos fade. Clean timelines and paid vendors make graceful endings, and graceful endings are what weddings are supposed to buy. The ceremony began with late light across the lawn and chairs that didn't pretend. Guests settled into a hush, the kind that respects breath and vows. Carly raised a hand, and the trio shifted to the processional without drama. Mia rounded the corner steady, each step a simple promise. Tyler's face softened, as if he finally remembered why days like this exist. The officiant projected cleanly, voice riding the air like a measured line. We could hear every word from the back without chords or complaint. Denise watched the arbor and kept still. Learning the value of silence, I kept my eyes on Mia and let the math fade. The moment didn't need rescue. It needed room to finish. Vows landed strong because nothing competed for attention or power. No towers leaned. No rented glow begged for notice. No surprise stunt demanded applause. The ring-bearer paused and giggled, then recovered without a cue. Carly smiled and guided him with one finger that meant, keep moving. When the kiss came, guests clapped like neighbors, not like a studio audience. Owen checked the clock, gave a small nod, and opened the garden doors. The recession moved in order, row by row. Without elbows, I held my seat and let families pass me by. Back row offered the best view because exits stayed near and egos stayed far. Inside, the reception started without anyone chasing a timeline with panic. The DJ called the wedding party with names, not hype or gimmicks. People rose when they should, laughed when they wanted, and listened when words mattered. The caterer flowed plates from the kitchen like a quiet machine. The second carving station earned its corner because it had a signature. Denise tried a small course correction with the bartender, then saw the posted slip and let it go. Tyler smiled for photos, then checked pockets, then smiled again, with effort. He looked like a man learning that leadership means counting, not posing. That lesson doesn't photograph, but it holds later. The first complaint came soft and lateral, the way blame travels when it's tired. Tyler approached the bandleader near the service hall and lowered his voice. We thought you'd consider the rate, he said, trying for friendly. The bandleader kept it professional. We consider the contract, he answered, and your signature. Tyler glanced over his shoulder, checking who might hear. My future father-in-law changed things, he said. Owen stepped from the doorway before volume could grow. Your initials authorized today's music, he said, tapping the page. Second set was discounted under sponsorship that ended at noon. The bandleader nodded, then returned to tuning. Tyler accepted the paper like it weighed more than sound. Paper often does when a man finally reads. Denise tried her version 3 tables later, softer but pointed. Service feels thin, she told the caterer. VIP tables should get premium. He kept his tone polite and stable. Service matches the agreed plan, he said. Upgrades require authorization and payment. She lifted her chin toward me as if I could reopen a door. Owen appeared again, clipboard like a shield and a mirror. Account holder privileges ended with sponsorship, he said. We're billing the signatory per contract. Denise stared at the initials and realized they weren't mine. She folded her napkin like a flag and sat down. Small conversations around us returned to stories about school and dogs. Nothing spectacular happened, which meant everything was finally right. When toasts began, the best man kept it human and short. A bridesmaid told a story about a flat tire and Mia's quiet grace. Tyler took the mic last and looked heavier than an hour earlier. Thank you for being here, he said, voice measured. We built today inside the plan. He didn't look at me, which was correct, but the room felt the sentence. Mia added a single line that directed the night forward. We're grateful for simple things done right, she said. The DJ eased into the first dance, and the band carried it with steady hands. I sat back and let the scene do its own math. Public consequence didn't need a speech. It needed a ledger and a clock. Late evening held like a good beam, quiet under expected weight. Kids chased bubbles, not hashtags, which is a sign of health. The trio packed without a scramble because the second set stood paid. The caterer wiped a spotless station like a craftsman finishing a porch. Denise helped fold programs, choosing usefulness over optics for once. Tyler shook Owen's hand and didn't argue with the page in front. Mia hugged Carly and whispered, "Thank you," loud enough for the timeline to hear. I walked the patio edge and checked nothing because nothing was breaking. Back row still offered the clearest view. Vows intact, bills aligned, noise retired. That is what winning looks like when you care more about structure than spectacle. Invoices started landing before dawn 2 days later. Neat stacks of numbers that cared nothing about emotions. Walt sent me copies automatically. Venue, catering, band, florist, hotel. Each had a bill to line that read, Tyler Raines in bold. The total was fair and final. No penalties, no surprises, just arithmetic finishing what attitude began. I forwarded nothing. Paper travels best, without commentary. By mid-morning, Denise called first. Her voice arrived high and sweet, like she'd rehearsed empathy. There's been some kind of mistake, she said. The venue sent Tyler a balance. That's correct, I said. Sponsor pricing was withdrawn. She switched tones fast. You're going to ruin their honeymoon. I didn't book their honeymoon, I said. I also didn't unlearn math. Silence stretched while she recalculated her next move. You could at least split it, she said. I did, I replied. By signature. Then I hung up because explanations beyond contracts are just auditions for blame. Owen's email arrived next, short and unflinching. Final ledger attached. Venue account settled. Remaining balance collected from signatory at checkout. He closed with his trademark, pleasure operating within rules. Carly sent hers mid-afternoon. Vendors all paid. No outstanding credits. Tell your lawyer she writes beautiful clauses. I forwarded that one to Nora, who replied with a single line. Gravity works every time. Mia came by that evening, tired but peaceful. She'd already heard from Tyler. He said you embarrassed him, she told me. No, I said. He embarrassed himself. I just printed it. She sighed and sat down across from me. He's mad but learning, she said. Good, I answered. Learning's cheaper than pride when you pay tuition in cash. She traced the rim of her mug. Do you want me to apologize for him? No, I said. That would ruin the lesson. She smiled faintly. You always turn anger into homework. Better grades that way, I said. 2 days later, Tyler called. His voice was smaller, stripped of the stage lights he used to carry around. I got the invoices, he said. They're a lot. They're exact, I said. Exact is fair. He hesitated, then said, You could have just told me. I did, I reminded him. In writing, twice. He let that land. You made your point, he said finally. Points are for arguments, I said. Contracts are for consequences. I expected him to hang up, but he didn't. I want to make this right, he said. Then pay your bills, I said. Start with the people who showed up. He exhaled slowly. I did, he said. All of them. Good, I said. Then we're even. Later that week, Mia stopped by again with a small envelope. From him, she said, setting it down. Inside was a receipt. full payment confirmation from the venue, handwritten thanks from Owen, and a small note in Tyler's scrawl. Lesson received. No discounts next time. I didn't laugh, but I did breathe easier. He's planning a next time? I asked. He's planning to stay, she said. He's quieter now. Quieter works, I said. Denise didn't call again, but a card arrived in the mail, formal and oddly humble. Appreciation for your attention to detail. We all learned something. I set it beside the binder and left it unopened. Some lessons don't need signatures to stick. By month's end, the ledger closed itself. Walt confirmed every vendor marked paid, 0 balances across the board. Nora archived the file with her usual 2-word note. Matter resolved. Mia and Tyler sent a small photo from a state park. No filters, just both of them looking tired but clean. They'd driven instead of flown, bought coffee instead of champagne, and looked more married than any planner could design. When people ask what happened, I tell them nothing dramatic, just math, paper, and respect, finding their right owners. Money doesn't teach character, boundaries do. And sometimes, the invoice is the only teacher that speaks a language pride understands. Mia came over on a Sunday afternoon with a notepad and no makeup. She set the pad between us on the kitchen table like a peace flag. I need terms, she said, not a lecture. Good, I said. Terms are cheaper than lectures. She wrote a title, Money Rules, and looked me in the eye. I want a plan that keeps us married and sane. Then we start simple, I said. Separate accounts, one joint for bills. She nodded. Tyler asked about that, she said. He thought it meant we don't trust each other. It means we trust math, I said. Trusting math saves trust for harder things. We laid out 3 lines in plain English. 1, I said. Rent, utilities, groceries, and insurance come from the joint. Each of you funds it on payday like a bill. She wrote quickly. 2, I said. Personal accounts are personal. No commentary unless it hurts the joint. She nodded. 3, I said. Anything over $300 gets a 24-hour pause. Buying window? She said, smiling. Pause stops panic, I said, and regret. She tapped the pen. He spends on optics, she admitted. I hoard for rainy days. Then write one more, I said. A fun cap each month, same amount, no judging. We can do that, she said. We can even name it something dumb. Dumb names help rules stick, I said. She asked about the big word people throw around like armor. Prenup, she said. Late for that. Then a postnup, I said. Same idea. Signed after the wedding. I explained it simply. Postnup is a written plan for who owns what and how you both share or protect it. She wrote postnup box or plan and underlined it twice. Is that cold? She asked. It's a seatbelt, I said. You wear it and hope you never need it. Okay, she said. What goes in it? The bones, I said. House equity, business interests, inheritance rules, and debt behavior. I kept the legal talk short. Probate is the court process when someone dies. Avoid it with beneficiary forms, a will, and a small trust if needed. Pour over will? She asked, trying the phrase. Backup will, I said. It moves anything you forgot into the trust. She sat back and chewed the cap. Will Tyler think I'm planning a divorce? He'll think you're planning a life, I said. If he wants the title leader, he can love the map. She laughed once. You and your maps. Maps keep trucks out of ditches, I said. Marriages too. She asked about emergencies. We build an oh-no fund, I said. 3 months of bills and savings you don't touch. We can start small, she said. 50 a week. Relentless beats heroic, I said. 50 adds up. She looked relieved to hear a number she could carry. It's strange how peace shows up as math, scribbled on a page. Tyler arrived halfway through, nervous but not defensive. He kissed Mia's head and took the chair like a student who wants to pass. I'm here to listen, he said. I slid the notepad toward him. Separate accounts, one joint. Pause rule. Fun cap, I said. He read it and nodded slowly. I can live with this, he said. I need the pause. We both do, Mia said. He looked at me. Postnup, he asked. Seatbelt, I said. Protects both of you. He exhaled. I messed up with the your money comment, he said. I thought money proved power. It just proved bills. Bills teach faster than speeches, I said. You paid attention when they arrived. He nodded, a little embarrassed, a little proud. We kept the rules practical so they'd last past Tuesday. Mia set bank alerts for the joint account and turned off notifications for personal ones. Tyler offered to own the calendar for bills and actually write due dates on paper. I added one quiet guardrail. No secret loans, I said. If family asks, you both answer. That's for my mother, he said, honest and small. Then say it to her, I said. Short sentence. He practiced once. Mom, we love you. We handle our money together. Good enough. We added 2 more lines to the paper. No new credit cards without both yeses, and no co-signing for friends. They felt heavy in the right way. We closed with estate basics in 10 sentences, not a seminar. Name each other as primary beneficiaries on retirement accounts, I said. Update every form. Make a simple will. Name an alternate executor in case you both are stuck. Keep passwords in a sealed envelope you replace every 6 months. Tyler wrote faster than I expected. This feels adult, he said. Because it is, I said. He looked up, face open. Can I ask something? Ask, I said. When do we talk about kids, houses, big stuff? Not today, I said. Win 3 months with this plan first. Then the big stuff gets lighter. Mia slid the paper back to the center and tapped the top. We sign this, she said. Just us. Just you, I said. Hang it on your fridge or tape it inside a cabinet? She stood and hugged me, quick and firm. You always turn fire into rails, she said. Rails keep trains safe, I said. Tyler shook my hand without performing it. Thank you for not humiliating me, he said. You did the hard part yourself, I said. Now do the steady part. He smiled, a real one this time. We can do steady. They left with the paper, and the house went quiet, in a good way. No smoke, no speeches, no victory parade. Just rules a young couple could carry without bending. Revenge had already clocked out. What stayed was structure, and structure is what turns a wedding into a marriage. We didn't celebrate with a trip or a banner. We tested the plan on ordinary days. First month, the joint account paid rent, utilities, and groceries without drama. Tyler texted me a photo of a marked-up calendar and wrote, "Bill's done." Mia sent a picture of their fun cap envelope with 2 movie tickets inside. Denise called once, tried to offer bridge money, then accepted the simple sentence, "We handle our money together." Tyler forwarded every family request to Mia and let her answer with both their names. We met at the diner on Fridays. No speeches, just meatloaf and loose plans. He asked small adult questions like, do we pause on furniture? And how do you budget birthdays? We set a 24-hour pause on sofa and a cash limit on gifts. He still had opinions. He didn't hide invoices. Adults make fewer messes when they stop hiding receipts. The post-nup took 20 minutes at Nora's office and read like a seatbelt manual. Tyler didn't flinch as she explained house equity and how a pour-over will act like a backup plan. It routes strays into the trust, she said, then translated probate as the court process when someone dies. Mia signed with a steady hand. Tyler signed without turning it into a performance. Nora slid copies into a plain folder and said, "You'll forget this exists if you're lucky." On the way out, Tyler thanked her with the new voice he'd been learning. "This helps us think long," he said. "Long is cheaper," Nora answered, and meant it. At home, they taped our money rules behind a pantry door and didn't announce it to anyone. They paid down a small card balance, built a 2-month oh no fund, and learned that boredom is a healthy sound. When nerves returned, they used the pause rule instead of arguing. The house felt balanced because corners finally matched. We held a quiet dinner with both families 2 months later, no centerpieces that needed bragging rights. Denise brought a casserole and placed it on the table like a peace offering. She didn't pitch upgrades or fights. She asked Mia about recipes and asked Tyler if the pause rule worked. He said, "I needed it more than I knew," and didn't look at me for rescue. After dishes, I stepped onto the porch with him and watched the streetlights come on. "You were right," he said. "Not dramatic, not small. Money isn't power, it's weight. Weight builds muscle," I said, "if you let it." He nodded and added, "Your binder wasn't about control. It was about keeping the roof up." "Roofs don't win awards," I said. "They just let people sleep." We stood there a while, letting quiet do the closing. No victory parade rolled by. We didn't need one. The lesson stuck because it had been paid for. Mia joined us with the field camera and handed it to Tyler. "Take one," she said. He framed the porch rail, clicked once, and didn't ask for a second shot. The print came out later with edges straight and shoulders easy. No glow, no tower, no performance. Just people who learned where weight belongs. We stacked plates, turned off lights, and let the evening end on time because timelines are a kind of love when you honor them. The binder went back on my shelf, not as a weapon, but as a tool that earned a rest. Revenge had done its small, precise job the day the credits rolled back and the bills found their home. What stayed was structure, carried by 2 people who finally liked the work. That's a better ending than fireworks. Fireworks burn bright and make smoke. Structure stays when the smoke is gone. If this story's steady approach made sense, quiet boundaries, clean paper, and simple choices, give the video a like, share your thoughts or similar experiences in the comments, and subscribe for more grounded, true-to-life stories about respect and accountability.